If you want to make these cute farmhouse rustic style fabric pumpkins, you've come to the right place. But first, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. If this is your first time here and you don't want to miss out on any further DIY craft videos from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell for future updates from my channel, faythchik777’s DIY by Design. Now let's get started. So what I've got here is about an 8-inch size circle I cut from poster board using a plastic lid from a bowl. I traced that onto my fabric, so I cut my fabric out. And now we're going to start to make a gathering stitch around the perimeter of the fabric. I am using fishing line here. Fishing line will have the least tendency to break when you go to pull the fishing line closed to pull your pumpkin closed after you have stuffed it. Regular thread, upholstery thread, all those tend to break. I've even had crochet thread break. So you're going to take your fabric, you're going to pleat it on your needle, and once you get a nice little chunk, you're going to pull your needle all the way through, but make sure you leave about a 6-inch tail. And then you're going to start that process again until you go all the way around to your pumpkin and you come to the other end where you started. Pull that needle all the way out and then pull your needle off that fishing line, and now you've got 2 long tails to kind of close your pumpkin with. And you'll see as I pull the tails here how my pumpkin will open and close. So that is your gathering stitch. So now we're going to start to stuff the pumpkin, and it's going to see a lot of stuffing, about 3 times big pieces of stuffing. And each time I stuff it, I'm going to pull my tails closed to see how tight my pumpkin is with the stuffing. So here's a tip for you. When buying stuffing, don't buy the $6 bag of stuffing from the craft section at Walmart or Joann's or whatever. Go to like Walmart and buy a $2.50 bed pillow. You're going to get twice the stuffing for a way less cost. Cut the end of that pillow open and pull out your stuffing. So once you have your pumpkin filled as tight as you want it, you're going to pull your fishing line closed, with leaving about an opening probably about as big around as the diameter of your finger. Okay, and then you're going to, with fishing line, it's slick. So you're going to want to tie about 4 or 5 knots so that that knot just doesn't like come undone again. And then you're going to cut off the excess, leaving about maybe a couple of inches of a tail, just to make sure that can't come undone. And you're going to stuff those ends right into the center of the pumpkin. And now we're going to do a stem. There's a couple of options. This here that I got from Hobby Lobby, or a stick from the backyard. Now that front one, those were really long. It came in a package of these really long, I'm like probably 36-inch long sticks, 3 of them in a package. They were real twisty and textured. And I cut them into about 3-inch long pieces. I took brown paint and water, mixed that together so it was really thin, and did a wash over the top of that stem, and then glue it in the center with Fabri-Tac. We're going to go back to fishing line again. Nice long piece, probably 36 inches long. Fold it in half, take the center of that, and starting at the bottom of the pumpkin, wrap it around to the top, make a half knot at the top, flip your pumpkin over again, bring it around close to center as possible, another half knot, back to the top again, and then you're going to pull it nice and tight, and then you're going to make 4 or 5 knots again with the fishing line. And then you're going to cut off the excess, leaving maybe a 1/2 inch of a tail. And don't worry, those little tails will get covered up when we decorate. And so the way we wrapped it is not going to look pretty when we turn this pumpkin over. So we're going to want to, see, that's not pretty. So we're going to want to move that fishing line around, moving our fabric around to make nice even sections. You should have about 6 sections or more if you'd like. And to move it around to make even sections, and so that the fishing line comes to one center point on the bottom of your pumpkin, it looks nicer. You can pull your fabric up and around if you need to on top, but see, that looks much prettier. So we're going to start to design. We're going to use some burlap. This is just burlap on a roll from Dollar Tree. This is a brown burlap, of course. You can get whatever color you like. And I'm just going to free form and cut out some leaves. And on one end of your leaves, you can go ahead and kind of cut across to make a nice flat edge. That'll help us when we're gluing near the stem to the top of the pumpkin. Now what we want to do, this burlap is really open weaved, and those strings of the burlap come off really easy. And the burlap, of course, is kind of flimsy. So we're going to use Mod Podge and a pouncy brush, both from, or not a pouncy brush, a foam brush, both from Dollar Tree. And we're going to pounce that Mod Podge on top of the leaves. And then we're going to flip the leaf over and we're going to do it again. So we're going to Mod Podge both sides, kind of pounce it. It works when you're working with this burlap to pounce it on top and bottom versus trying to paint it on, or those little pieces of burlap will fray off. And by doing this, it allows our leaf to become stiff. And of course, the burlap strings are all, that weave is all glued together, so it'll have less tendency to come apart. You're going to set those aside to dry. And miraculously, I've got two ready to go right here. So then what we've got, so two leaves, our pumpkin. This is sisal. It's kind of looks like grass. I got it from Joann's, a big bag of it in their floral section. If you don't want to get sisal from Joann's, you can use raffia. They come 3 to a package at Dollar Tree. You can use a cute little piece of contrasting ribbon. Just to give it a little more texture on our pumpkin. This is a wire. I got it off of the burlap leaves that you buy at Dollar Tree. They come 5 to a pack. I pulled the wire off the back of each of those leaves, and then I cut it in half, wound it around a paintbrush, and then fold that in half. This is twine from Dollar Tree, and I just made a little bow. So those are all the little pieces we're going to use. And if you don't want to use sisal or anything like that, you don't have to, you don't have to use sisal or raffia. You can just use, or even if you don't want to use wire, it's your choice what you want to use to make your cute pumpkin. So again, we're going to use Beacon Fabri-Tac glue, but backtracking, I would suggest at least some leaves and a little bow, okay? So gluing the burlap leaves to the pumpkin right over those little fishing line edges we left, so it covers those up. Put a little dab of glue right at the bottom of the stem near the fabric, and we're going to push our sisal onto it. A little bit of glue right at the bend mark of that twisted wire, and we're going to kind of put that right down in near the end of the stem, kind of push it into the fabric a little bit. A little bit of glue on our twine bow. Again, I got that twine from Dollar Tree. And we're going to push that right on top of that whole ensemble there. And then we're going to kind of push everything together, maybe move our leaves a little closer. But there you have a cute farmhouse rustic style fabric pumpkin. I hope you'd enjoyed this tutorial. I'll have all my social media links down below. Come follow me there. Again, subscribe to my channel. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon.